Hey y'all. Now look, straight up off it. I missed last week's episode because I was getting my hair done. I thought I was gonna have time to do everything, but stuff just moved around. So I was like, you know what? We're just gonna have to move it to next week. It is what it is. I tried to get it out over the weekend though, but it didn't work. So we just moved it here. Sorry if you was looking for me, but this week, I'm back. Will you live a 5-star life if you take the advice? Coach D, aka Venus as a boy, I'm back. Yeah. Anyway, this week I do got 5-star tips. So hooray to that. So let's go ahead and get right into this. We ain't gotta waste no time. 5-star tip number 1. Never mind how anyone feels about you. How you feel is all that matters, and what you gotta understand is that we all mirror each other. Every time we pass another person, it doesn't matter if you speak to them or not, it's some way you're mirroring that person. It's some way, shape, or form. And it all could just be from y'all both happen to be walking at the same time. That type of mirroring, right? But bottom line, when somebody feels some type of way about you, it's just like, okay, whatever. You gotta just have a lot of Nah, you just gotta have your cup full at all times. You always gotta have energy and emotions, thoughts that are yours and not others. How they feel, how they think, that shit does not matter. And it should never affect you. And no matter what the relationship is, no matter who the relationship is with, I don't care. Parents, friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, that shit does not matter how they feel about you. Like, I get it, like how they, if they love you, they upset in certain things, you should care about it. But like when it comes to things where it's just like, this is the bottom line of this whole situation. This is who I am. This is how I'm showing up. This is what it is. If you cannot deal with that and you feel a certain way and you want me to change to satisfy you, you don't matter. And how you feel does not matter. I don't care who you are, right? You gotta trust yourself and really, like, and I keep saying trust because it's so important to have a relationship with yourself. And trust is at the end, at the core, not the end, but the inner core, I should say, of every relationship. If you don't trust somebody, why are you with them? If you don't trust yourself, like, you're not gonna be rocking with yourself the way you really could and should be. So having that relationship with yourself, loving on yourself, that should always help you tune out, never minding how anybody else feels about you. Like, at the end of the day, like, certain things about yourself that you honestly want to change yourself and somebody pointed out, try not to take that to heart, because I get how that can be and how they feel about that, and you feel the same way, but you just haven't actively changed it. Try not to take that to heart and actually take that as a sign to do something. But if it's something that you are truly standing 10 toes on about yourself and somebody wants you to change that, you gotta tell them fuck that. You gotta tell them fall back. I ain't with that. Nah. I'm gonna keep being this way. And if you feel some type of way to a point you really can't stand it, you can go. Or matter of fact, I'll go. I'll make it easy for both of us. You know? So yeah, 5-star tip number 1. Never mind how anyone feels about you. That shit don't fucking matter. Now, 5-star tip number 2. Ask yourself first. Like, going to people for answers who know a certain thing, who are educated in a certain realm, that's always good, right? And that's always good for when it's like a real situation where you really need to talk to somebody who actually knows information. But sometimes in other situations, and even in sometimes in those situations, just ask aloud and let some type of insight, whatever insight is supposed to come to you. And then trust that and move with that. Learn how to ask yourself questions, because we are all made of the same thing. Yes, some people have education in certain things, right? but the information is still lingering in the air. So you can easily just receive something that will let you know, and it will be communicated in to communicate. Get it right, boy. Communicate it to you in a way that you're gonna understand, versus like you listening to somebody who know what they talking about, but they gotta chop it down into these pieces and shit like that. Like, that's still cool, don't get me wrong, that's still cool, but asking yourself, that will help you with that relationship with yourself, with trusting yourself, with believing in yourself, because you're going to yourself instead of looking outside and, you know, like asking for help. And when I say looking within, like, always, like, you know, listen to that thought. Like, if you feel like you happen to see a flash of Google in your head when you blinked or something like that, like some type of Raven superstition thing, girl, open up Google and put that thing in there. Whatever you looking up, put it in there, find out the information, and that was your insight. That was what you were supposed to do. Other times it could come in like a thought of like, oh wait, I got this, and that. Or I can make that remedy and treat that beast thing like this. Okay, yeah, bet, you know, and do stuff like that. And then of course, after the insight come, you can always double check with those people who have the education, or you can double check with Google, but just try to start asking yourself first. I feel like when that happens with a collective of people moving with asking themselves first, I'm I'm not trying to push some like individualism thing, but asking yourself first to like find some trust in yourself and belief in yourself, and then coming to other people and then just verifying, making sure you're right. I feel like that will be a real big shift for the whole collective. But we can talk about that another time. But anyway, ask yourself first. Like, lean on yourself, especially when you're looking for answers around spirituality. Now, 5-star tip number 3. Princess treatment looks different for everybody. I don't think everybody thought about this, but that's why there are so many Disney princesses. Mulan is nothing like Tiana. You feel me? Ariel is nothing like Belle. So like, I feel like when people be promoting things online, women specifically, even some men be chiming in, but women specifically, and I'm getting in women business, but I'm just trying to help y'all understand, like, it look like many different things. But when they get online and say the princess treatment stuff, and it just sound like you just a fucking robot, it just sounds insane. Or it looks like fairy princess and like shopping sprees and stuff like that. Or they say it look like a stay-at-home mom. It's just like, girl, that shit is what you do. That's your princess treatment. But I feel like people try to like emulate other people's princess treatment, and then they fuck up their own Mulan experience because they want to live like Tiana. You're not Tiana. Stay in Mulan's space. She's bad. She's living it. She's doing her big one over here. Stay in that lane. You're Ariel. You are not Snow White. You do not have those doors with you, honey. You're not her. You're not Sleeping Beauty, babes. You're not. You're Belle. Stay in your lane. You know, like, it's just like this shit looks different for everybody. So just when you seek princess treatment, like, try to go within it. And honestly, this ties back into like the trust in yourself thing I was saying earlier. When you honestly see something that you truly don't want to experience, but it's like the overall experience you want, keep in mind that it's the overall, not the specific. Because sometimes people get caught up trying to emulate something, and it's just like, no, you fucking up. Because I know you want the energy of that, right? But you want it your way. And you got to remember, you want it your way, not Tiana's way, Ariel. You know? So yeah. Now, 5-star tip number 4. Stop thinking and start knowing. And now this may sound crazy, right? But it's more so moving with intuition. Like, stop thinking, because the moment you get to thinking about something, you get the it just messes up everything that could be fun about life. Because when you start to think about stuff, you only think, if this true or false, is this right or wrong, yes or no. But when you start to just feel and let that knowing just go, and you just follow that feeling and that knowing, you don't get involved in a right or wrong. You get involved with just alignment because you moving with your energy, you move with your spirit. And then with that, that builds you up to staying in alignment. And then you will eventually be in like consistent right situations, consistent truths that you've always seen. You know, those manifestations, those visualizations, all of those things, you will start being in those consistently. But separating you from being in that consistently is thinking. The only time you should be thinking is when you are planning, when you are in a resting position, when you're planning in a rested position. But if you are moving and you're going about, and you not even, man, when I say moving, don't think like literally just physically moving. Like you could be doing something on your phone. Take time to just follow the knowing and be conscious of following that knowing instead of thinking so much. Like texting, don't think too much. Just feel how you feel and know how you feel and know what you want to say and just say it. It's that simple. But like, stop thinking and start knowing. Just move with that intuition. Eventually the intuition is going to sharpen up, and that intuition is going to guide you to those right, correct, and yes situations that thinking wants. But until you get to that point, because it will happen, but until you get there, just keep following that knowing, regardless if it's a situation where in reality you're gonna lose, but in spiritually it's just you just followed your alignment. It's always best to follow your alignment than to be looking at being wrong as a bad thing. Just say you followed your alignment. That was all that is. And you weren't wrong for that. Maybe realistically, yeah, and in a situation, yeah, it was wrong, it was no, or it was a rejection or whatever, but you were right for doing what you did because you followed your alignment. So stop thinking and start knowing. That's it. Now, five-star tip number 5: be smart on purpose. Like, it's so many of us who are very intelligent, understand ourselves, understand information when we receive it, know how to break it down and understand it, relate a message to what is being said in this to somebody, all those type of things. Like, just smart as a motherfucker, but love to keep it at like a minimum. They don't maximize off of it. And that's one thing that you should always be maximizing every time, every chance you get. And it doesn't matter how you are perceived or how people are receiving your intelligence as like cockiness or arrogance. It don't, fuck all that. That does not matter. They feel some type of way, they feel some type of way. Oh well. Bottom line, if you know you are smart and you know you can wrap circles around bitches' heads in any subject because you're that smart, you have a good memory, you are good with words, you don't mince words unless you want to. And another thing, if you know how to play dumb too, like you're smart as shit. Be smart on purpose every chance you get. Like, don't ever downplay your intelligence to make anybody else in a room feel comfortable. Anybody else in an atmosphere, in an environment, they don't matter. Be smart on purpose. You're smart for a reason. Be smart on purpose. Be the one that know the answer. Be the one that's always saying something because they know something. Be that one. Because we need more people like that, so it can be less people that's talking that don't know what the fuck they're speaking on. Always show off how smart you are. Be smart on purpose. You know, I don't say tricky words. I say words that's tricky to you. That type of energy. Have that with you being smart on purpose, because it's a reason you're smart. You're in certain places to be smart. Be smart. They need to learn this. Teach them whatever is at hand that need to be taught. I mean, but at the end of the day, be smart on purpose. And even if someone like me, I don't know. I never got diagnosed with like I'm looking for my slippers. Anyway, I never got diagnosed with like nothing from a doctor about my speech, but I know my speech is fucked. Even if your speech is fucked, that shit still does not matter. If you know you're smart, no matter if you stutter, if you go on mince words, you say the wrong word, even though you know the right word, that don't matter either. You're still fucking smart. Like, simple as that. So, be smart on purpose. Every chance you get. Every time there's a time to give a piece of information that you know, give it. Especially it only honestly only when it's relevant. Cause sometimes like that you to play dumb, that smart shit, you gotta play dumb sometimes. And you just gotta let something play out, But other times, teach them. And well shit, every time you're gonna teach them because you're being smart on purpose. They'll learn eventually if they don't learn it right there. But be smart on purpose. And now that is the end of this week's episode of 5-Star Coach. We live a 5-star life if you take the advice. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share the content. And I'm going to be here next Friday, for real, with a new episode, of course, for all of y'all. And I'll see y'all then. Bye.